Hey guys, Ian here from IMR Concepts, here to show you how to build a surfboard. We're going to start with an EPS blank and go from there using AkuShaper to design everything from the outline, the rails, and the fin placement. And this one's actually going to have fins placement on both ends, so it can be ridden as a single fin or a quad depending on conditions. And then we'll have a little talk with Greenlight Surf Supply. That's my local vendor for everything board building wise. Great guy, he's been in business for 25 years. We are using a close tolerance blank. AkuShaper is great for that. Brian at Greenlight does this to reduce foam waste, and it saves a lot of time in the shaping room. You don't have to take a giant block of foam and turn it into a surfboard. Pretty much everything is done except for the rails and the bottom contour. So you're saving a lot of hours and a lot of foam and dust and just mess in your shop or your garage or your back room or wherever you're shaping. It really cuts down on time, and you'll see that later how quickly we get through this in a little bit. Started IMR Concepts in 2020, right after COVID. I've been building boards since 2008, 2009. For me, being 6'3", 220, 230, regular boards off the shelf just didn't work. And when you're paying $600 to $1,000 for a board, it's really tough to want to go out and on big conditions and really test what you're able to do, or ride what you want to do, or be on a beach break that's really shallow or a reef break that's really shallow, because you could break it on your first go out. First wave, you could break your board and you're out $600 to $1,000, where when you're shaping your own, the little bit of time to put into it, you're down to about $300 to $400 if you're just starting out, because you have to get all the tools and everything. And then if you're buying in bulk, or once you have all the tools, the price really comes down, and it's just a couple hours, a couple days, maybe a week if you're taking your time to really just knock this out. What's great about AkuShaper is that you design everything online or on your computer, and you can take it to someone like Brian at Greenlight, who does close tolerance blanks, where you're going to do the rails, you're going to do your bottom contour, or depending on where you're at, there might be a machine that they can CNC the entire thing, and it takes all of the work out. You literally just have to finish sand, put in your fin boxes, whichever you're using, FCS or Future, and you're good to go. You glass it up, you're ready to rock. But in our area on the East Coast, Brian's the closest thing to me, which gives us a close tolerance blank. It gives me a little freedom to still feel that I'm still shaping. And there's a real big joy that comes from shaping, and you'll see in the video here in a little bit. We're really just doing the rails, and they're going to be a boxy rail, kind of not 50-50, which would be equal, a little more boxy. One end will have a rounded rail at the end, the other end will be a knife edge or pretty much a flat edge, to give a little more hold. From there, running a single concave in the middle into a V on one end and probably just flat on the other. We'll go from there, but like I said, I build my own boards because I can get the thickness I want that helps with flotation at my weight, and I'm not stuck with just a generic board or a generic fin placement. We kind of can fine tune where you're going to be, but you can build boards out of anything. You can go to Home Depot and build boards out of that foam, but I would say get your EPS foam or PU foam from a distributor and go at it. It's a blast. The boards will work. The shape, it could be whatever you want, but AkuShaper really helps you dial in. It gives you a visual of what that board will look like at the end, and you can put wings on it. You can adjust everything about it, and we'll show that in the video here in the beginning. Then we'll have a little meeting with Brian at Greenlight, kind of show you the shop of what he's providing for people. Something that's not on that video is that Brian told me year after year he has about 50% of his customers are new to board building, which I think is amazing, that all these people are building their own boards And you don't need a shed like this. You can be building in your garage. You can be building on a patio. You can be building in your spare room, especially with EPS and epoxy. Fumes are low. It's pretty safe compared to polyester, but it's a blast. So we're gonna get in here. I'm gonna show you guys a lot, and we're gonna knock it out. Big thanks again to Brian and Nick. Brian at Greenlight and Nick at AkuShaper. Let's get to it. So here we are. We're going to open up AkuShaper version 3. What's really great is over the last couple of years, they've added a ton of features over the time. But this is still the basic, what it was at the beginning. You start with a generic shape, closest to what you're trying to build, and then you can adjust everything from your outline, length. You'll see here we're changing the length to what we were going to build. Go in here. These dots are how you adjust everything from your rocker to your outline. And you can add a dot anywhere you want just by selecting where you want to put one. You can adjust from the top or bottom to get the right thickness and the right rocker. And it's really giving you an idea exactly what you want to do, and doing a close tolerance blank or a full shape out of an AkuShaper machine will get you really close, especially with a close tolerance blank. Here we are kind of setting our rails. And again, you start with a few slices, but you can slice all the way through to really adjust to your vision of what you're building. Here we are at the tail. I'm going to add in a slice. It'll ask you for what dimension or where you want to put it. There are more towards the tail, and we're going to start adding in a concave. Single concave through the center of this board. And you can pop it right in the shaper, and that's where we were, just to kind of get a visual. And you'll see here in a little bit that we do change that shape a little bit. It wasn't quite what I was looking for. But that's the best part about AkuShaper, is that you can get it, look at it, and go, oh, I don't really like that. So you go back in, and you can add some thickness. We'll add some points in here to adjust so that it looks more to what we were trying to envision, or I was at least. You can see we added a little bit of thickness in the nose, and we'll pull in that tail a little bit. Now we're back in the bay, and you can see it looks a lot better with that nose pulled wider. And there's a ton of adjustments in here that you can change how the board looks. You can rotate it like you're holding it. You can adjust the light settings, the height of the lights. And as I said earlier, this really helps you envision it. It's not just a template that you've printed out or cut out. This really does give you all the things you need to kind of get you with a vision or a plan to build something. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, and you can just really see what you need using close tolerance blanks from Brian at Greenlight. You're already at your outline, you're already at the right thickness. Now you can choose your fins, all different sizes. And then we'll head over here to Greenlight, where he has a ton of information. We'll go down here to complete shaping kits. You pick your kit if you're starting out, and that gives you everything to build one board. All the tools, resin, fins, everything like that. If you don't want to do EPS, you want to do it old school, US blanks, great as well, made in the US or in America. But we're going to do this board in EPS with a close tolerance blank cut by Brian. You can go in, pick your sizes, and he uses a pretty much a CNC wire cutter, so it's going to be exactly to the profile that your AkuShaper file that you send over to him is. That's how he ships them out to you as well, with those sides on it so they don't get damaged. You can go back in here, looking for a resin calculator here. And so you've already built one board, you already have all the tools, or you already had the tools to begin with. This gets you the closest amount of resin to finish a board that you're working on. Ask your glassing schedule, 4 ounce or 6 ounce. You go down here, you pick your fin boxes or what you're doing. It really helps kind of get you not too much resin, but as you can see here, we're at like 145 and the closest amount's 192. So you have a little bit of extra resin in case, you know, you're doing colors or you're changing things out. You also have a fiberglass calculator as well. So then we have our file uploaded. You check out, and Brian cut it out in a couple days for you. You get an email, you go up there and you pick it up. Hey guys, this is Ian from IMR Concepts. I'm headed up today to Greenlight Surf Supply in Manasquan, New Jersey. It's about a 3.5-hour drive from where I'm at in Delaware. So we'll be heading up there today to pick up a close tolerance blank using AkuShaper to have that blank almost ready to go with just a few modifications. So join me on this trip. I'll be filling you in on the way on how it goes, and then we'll meet Brian at Greenlight and go over a few things.
It's just a rock that has been through space, around another that shines on your face. Think ahead if it helps, but you're gone without a trace. Think back and slow down, but that's a waste. Did you know that it'll take time to make time? I say yes and never guess how long. Did you know you had everything right from the start? Did you know this animal was 3 hours? That's a lot of love coming back to you, honey. I want you to rest easy without a worry. I want you to be easy, but stay hungry. That's a lot of love, that's a lot of love. If you bark, if you buy, you can weave on.
Oh, this looks awesome, man. This looks fantastic.
Hey, it's Brian from Greenlight Surf Supply. I make EPS boards using AkuShaper software to design. I'll take your file as well and cut it on our machinery. I started making EPS blanks about 20 years ago and got the customization into it through AkuShaper software. We also have stock blanks. I got into it for the stoke of surfing, you know, surfing your own boards and the pride you have in your own board, and that all that time you spend on it, it really shows when you're surfing. No one's happier in the water than you on your own board. And it's such a great, it's the epitome of surfing. You gotta make your own boards, so at least you're gonna have a ton of fun. So yeah, use AkuShaper and send us the files and make you some blanks.
Yep.
If you started off right, you can still go rebel. Think about the love you intend to give. Think about the love that you let in. Did you know that it'll take time to make time? I say yes, but never guess how long. Did you know you had everything right from the start? Did you know this animal was 3 hours? That's a lot of love coming back to you, honey. I want you to rest easy without a worry. I want you to be easy, but stay hungry. That's a lot of love, that's a lot of love.